Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Passion Theory, where I share with you some of my passions and sometimes stories. And this is a story-ish. It's kind of a rant. It's more of a rant than a story. So I've been reading a book called The Court of Thorns and Roses. It's like the first book in a really long series. It's about humans interacting in the Fae courts and romancy and stuff. Anyway, so very, very minor spoiler. This won't mess up the book. It's not like a big reveal or anything like this. Basically the first main character, because I don't know if it always follows her or not in the other books, is poor. She grows up poor. That's it. So, but there's like a throwaway line in the book that it sent me on like, I don't know, an hour-long rant at my partner, and they're tired of hearing about this, so now you guys get to hear about it. So she goes and she takes a bath, and then she comes out of the bath and she's drinking hot water to warm up. And in my head, like, because literally I sit there and I think the whole time, and I'm actually trying to read this book really slowly and like think about every single little bit that I can, because it's going to be a long time before I can get the second book at the library, and I already really like the book. But regardless, I'm like halfway through the book now, but this happened like a day ago. So the throwaway line is she's drinking water. She's drinking hot water, and I'm like, in my head I'm like, why isn't she just drinking tea? And then this like right after that it says, we're too poor to even afford tea. And I'm like, is anyone gonna tell her that tea is free? Like, there's free tea everywhere around you. Like, so many types of tea everywhere. It's just dried leaves. It's leaf soup. You dry a leaf, you put it in water, bam, you have tea. Okay? Like, yes, you have to avoid certain leaves, and certain leaves taste better than other leaves. And sometimes it's not leaves. Sometimes it's flowers. But still. Okay, for example, right? She's living off the land. You can't tell me, a modern day person who does make their own tea from stuff I gather from my yard and like nature areas, knows more types of tea than she does. You can't tell me that, because some of the teas are like have medicinal uses and things like that she would have to know, right? So, and then her sister also has like a flower garden in the spring, so grow some freaking tea things. Anyway, my partner had to listen to this rant for about a half an hour, so now you guys get to listen to the rant. So in the book, we can argue. My cat's making noise behind me. There she is. You can argue that it is wintertime. So maybe they didn't save enough flowers and leaves from the spring, because there's a bunch of stuff that you gather in the spring and summer. And then you dry, and then you can have it all year long. But there is stuff out in the winter too. Like, it's the middle of winter now. I can go outside and I can find probably 10 different things I can make into tea. And okay, for example, let's give actual examples. Like, like, here's my receipts. Pine trees, okay? Pine needles make a great tea, especially in the winter. You know why? And she seems to be an area with snow, and pine trees typically like snowy areas. So, like, there should be some kind of pine trees around her. So, why is pine needle tea great? Because it has a lot of vitamin C in it, and in the winter you get less fruit, so you get less vitamin C, and it keeps you from getting like things like rickets, right? And things like that, from not having scurvy, from not having vitamin C, okay? And plantain is, you might have to move the snow aside in one of the meadows, but plantain typically stays up all year. You can use dandelion leaves, which the green parts of dandelions stay up all year. Things like that. Cedar makes a type of tea that you can drink. It's typically more of a medicinal tea. But you could still drink it. So there you go. In the what kind of other teas for free could she be making? If there's blackberries or raspberries around, in the winter they still have leaves. And blackberry and raspberry tea leaves, like leaves, make good tea. In the springtime, clovers, red and white clover flowers. You can make tea with them. I mean, obviously, make sure you're getting your stuff from places that aren't next to the roads. They're not covered in oil and grime. Make sure you're not getting them from anywhere that sprays for like insecticides or pesticides on them, things like that. But like, I have just named a whole bunch of teas that you can just go outside and get. She's not too poor for tea. She might be too poor to drink like tea from a tea plant that, a specific type of the tea she's used to growing up in like, like tea people think about nowadays, like black tea and green tea all come from a specific type of tea plant. But, I mean, I'm going to go back to dandelions, okay? Dandelions are amazing, you guys. They go like everywhere. They grow everywhere and they're awesome. And people are like, they're weeds and they don't want them. I grow them on purpose. You know why? Okay, the top. So dandelion flowers, you can make dandelion tea with them. You can make dandelion wine with them. They are also edible. The whole plant of the dandelion is edible. The dandelion leaves you can make tea with. You can eat them in a salad. Okay, girl is not even too poor for coffee, okay? Because guess what? If you dry dandelion roots and then grind them up, they make a coffee substitute. She could have tea and coffee from the same plant for free. Okay? She might not have sugar, but she can use honey, and she can find honey out in the woods. Just make a little smoker. But that is a big pain in the butt, and I would probably not do it. She could grow some stevia and sweeten it naturally with stevia tincture. But you know what? That's what I have stevia growing in my yard. Anyway. I'm done with my rant now. I'm just... Come on, authors. Tea is everywhere. Tea is literally... There's so much... I mean, you could probably pick almost any just random grass and make nasty tea with it, but it would still be tea. I don't recommend that because you don't know. There's probably some poisonous grasses and stuff out there, so be careful. Don't do that. Don't make any of these teas that I'm talking about without doing your own research, please. I am not a doctor. I don't want anybody to get poisoned. But it makes me wonder. I know it says that her sister grows hydrangeas in the spring. Unfortunately, can't make tea out of hydrangeas. But if her sister's growing certain flowers, why not grow lavender or something that you can make tea with and other things with all year long. All year long. Oh, dandelions also make a really good salve for, you can make dandelion salve for, like, carpal tunnel and, arthritis and joint pain. So, it would be good for her dad's freaking stupid knee, too. Anyway, rant aside. Sorry for the mild spoilers of the book. I'm done ranting. Bye for now. Make room for your own passions. See you next time.